Hello everyone, welcome to my classroom. Today's lesson is on apostrophes. This is a punctuation mark. This is what it looks like. Apostrophe is used for many reasons. One of them is when we are writing contractions. Contractions is when we are writing a word in short form. It is then that we use an apostrophe. Take a look at this example. I cannot leave this here. If I want to write it as a short form, instead of cannot, I will be using can't. This word can't is actually missing a few letters, and that is why we are using an apostrophe here. So cannot becomes can't with the help of an apostrophe. Let's look at a few more examples. Ahil is not rude to anyone. Is not are the two words that we are looking at, and we want to write these in the contracted form with the help of apostrophe. Ahil isn't rude to anyone. Isra did not want to eat the chocolate cake. What will it be? We want to change did not and write it as a contracted form using apostrophe. Isra didn't want to eat the chocolate cake. So now let's look at a few contracted forms. Have not will be haven't. They will can be written as they'll. Shall not, shan't. I have, I've. You are, you're. Make sure the apostrophe is in the correct place, because if you don't put it in the correct place, you are going to mess up the word. Didn't, D-I-D apostrophe N-T. Nope, this one's not right. You have to write it as D-I-D-N apostrophe T. So the use of apostrophe actually comes right before the last letter. Well, is this what we want to write it as? Nope. We want to write it as will, which is the contracted form of we will or we shall. Shouldn't, again, what is the mistake here? Apostrophe is being used before N. We want to put it before the last letter, which would be T. So the right form of it would be this. So what's the difference between its and its? And so many people get this wrong. The apostrophe is only used to show it is. That means when I'm writing its in the possessive form, it's going to be this one, its. When I want to write it in the contracted form, meaning when I'm using it is, and I don't want to say these two words together or write these two words together, I want to write them in the short form, it will be it apostrophe s. Let's look at a few examples. It's a sunny day today. And here, it's is being used as the short form of it is. Actually, I am saying it is a sunny day today. But instead of saying it is a sunny day today, I can say it's a sunny day today. So since I am using it's as the short form of it is, I have to use an apostrophe and write it in this manner. If I write its, that's going to be wrong because its is being used in the possessive form only. It's very kind of you to give me your last sweet. Yum. It's my favorite show. You know, I have a good mind of laughing like SpongeBob, but I will not because I don't want to alarm you people. Moving on. Apostrophes for possession. Apostrophes are also used to show possession. Take a look at this. Miss Noor's computer. So it's someone's computer. This someone is Miss Noor. It belongs to her. That is why we are using an apostrophe S here in order to show who the computer belongs to. Sama's ball. The ball belongs to Sama. Fauzia's book. The book belongs to Fauzia. Isaba's pencil. The pencil belongs to Isaba. This is how we can use apostrophe in order to show possession. Few more examples. Ahil's bag. The bag belongs to Ahil. Suba's shoes. The shoes belong to Suba. Maria's room. The room belongs to Maria. Tanzim's shirt. The shirt belongs to Tanzim. Isra's cat. The cat belongs to Isra. So you can see over here we are using the apostrophe over here in order to show possession. So if you want to write any word in the possessive form, we have to use an apostrophe and then an S. Afshin's cap. The cap belongs to Afshin. When things belong to one person, as you can see over here, we are using apostrophe S. Now comes a little bit of a different use of apostrophe, because how do we use the apostrophe when we want to talk about things belonging to multiple people or things? When things belong to more than one person, or we have a plural involved in our sentence, the apostrophe will come after the S instead of before. So if I show you this one more time, take a look at these sentences. Here you can see the apostrophe is being used before the S. So we can understand we are talking about one single person. However, if we are going to talk about more than one people, we have to use apostrophe after the S. Take a look at this example, the boys' classroom. Here the word boys is being used in the plural. And how do we understand this? By placing the apostrophe after the S. Now, if I place the apostrophe before the S, this will become a singular. And it will seem that I'm talking about one boy and the classroom belongs to him. Since the apostrophe is being used after S, this means that we are talking about many boys here and the classroom belong to them. The players' uniforms. Again, the uniforms belong to players, and since the apostrophe is being used after S, that means we are talking about more than one player. The teacher's pens. Again, more than one teacher. Why? Because apostrophe is being used after S. So where should the apostrophe go? Let's practice a little bit. Salman's shoes. Talking about one person here, so apostrophe should go before S. Noor's new car. Again, talking about one person here, so the apostrophe should go before S. The cat's whiskers. Talking about one cat, where do you think the apostrophe should be? Before S. I hope you got that one right. The horse's stables. Here we are talking about more than one horse. In this case, the apostrophe will be after. The villager's boat. Here again, we are talking about lots of villagers. So remember, when we are talking about more than one person or thing, apostrophe must be placed after S in order to show plural. So here, the villager's boat. In this case, villagers is a plural, and that is why we are placing the apostrophe right after S. Some common errors involving apostrophes, and these are actually very common. We see even the most experienced ones sometimes mess up. Fish and chips. Do you think this is right? It isn't. Why? Because there is no apostrophe here. We are not speaking in terms of belonging or possession. So fish and chips is just a name here. We cannot use an apostrophe in this case. What's wrong here? Cars were on the road. If you put an apostrophe here, you will have to show some form of possession. We are not using any of the words here with the sense of belonging. So what happens? That means we don't need to use an apostrophe here. The correct sentence is the cars were on the road. Half price clothes. Again, no sense of possession or belonging is being used here, so the apostrophe need not be used. I saw a dog with its bone. Important, remember, it apostrophe s is only be used when we want to use it in the contracted form. That means if you see it apostrophe s, actually the words are it is. I saw a dog with it is bone. Doesn't make sense, right? So we do not use an apostrophe here. I saw a dog with its bone. Up till now, I have said that we use apostrophe to show possession. In this case, we don't use apostrophe at all. So its, it's over here is an exception. You will use apostrophe in order to show possession, whether it's a singular or a plural, doesn't matter, you will have to use it. However, when you are using its, you cannot use apostrophe in order to show possession, because if you use it, that means you are writing it in the contracted form. In this case, this is an exception. So when you are using its, it's, in order to show possession, don't use an apostrophe. Let's look at the next example. Lucy's books were on the table. It seems that we have messed up the apostrophe here because this is a plural. We want to use this as a plural here. However, these books belong to someone and nothing over here belongs to the books. In this case, you have to remove the apostrophe from here and put it here because the books belong to Lucy. So the correct sentence would be Lucy's books were on the table, where the apostrophe s over here rightfully points out that the books belong to Lucy. So there you go. This brings us to the end of today's lesson. This is Miss Mariam signing off for today. Take care of yourselves and stay safe.